Hello Leafs Nation, I'm Rick Scarborough and you're watching Blue and White Weekly, where we bring you weekly updates on the Leafs and the hockey world at large. I just tried one of my buddy's brownies and I'm hearing colors, but that's not what's important. What's important is we've got a brand new week of Maple Leafs hockey to talk about, so let's get into the news. Before we get into the games of the week, we have a bit of news from around the NHL. One day after trading their captain Jacob Trouba, the New York Rangers agreed to an extension with star goaltender Igor Shesterkin. The 8-year deal is worth $92 million at an $11.5 million a year cap hit. This makes Shesterkin the 7th highest paid player in the NHL next season, tying him with Toronto's William Nylander and Pittsburgh's Erik Karlsson. He'll also be the highest paid goaltender in the league, beating out Carey Price's 8-year, $84 million extension that he signed in 2017. Amulet power has hit maximum levels on the Leafs as Max Domi has now joined John Tavares in trying the Ares Tech amulet. And somehow that makes complete sense. If any Leaf were to take up the amulet, Domi kind of seems like a fit. He's a little weird like that. This seems up his alley. The week began in New Jersey against Sheldon Keefe and the Devils, but someone neglected to tell the Leafs that they had a game to play because for the first 2 periods, the only guy in blue and white that bothered to show up was Anthony Stolarz. The Devils finished the first period with 16 shots on goal. The Leafs finished the entire game plus overtime with 17 shots on goal. You do the math on that one. Andre Palat finally broke through Stonewall Stolarz, but Pontus Holmberg tied it up shorthanded for the Leafs because, well, why not? The game was already weird. Holmberg might as well be the guy to wake us up. Also, shout out to the TSN broadcast for specifying that this was Holmberg's first goal on a goalie this season. Apparently Max Pacioretty is just a goon now as he runs over Jack Hughes like he's made of cardboard. There was no penalty on the play, and the Devils did absolutely nothing. Yeah, that sounds like a team coached by Sheldon Keefe. Overtime was a complete mess to start, with both teams nearly costing themselves the game with some errant line changes. But it all came to an end when Austin Matthews got the breakaway with pressure from the defense and went bar down. And to celebrate, he points into the crowd at PK Subban? You know what? Sure, why not? Like I said, this game was weird. At this point, nothing surprised me. Leafs win 2-1 in overtime. On Thursday night, the Ducks came to town mere hours after it was announced they'd be without Trevor Zegras for 6 weeks after the 23-year-old forward underwent knee surgery. The Leafs grabbed an early lead in this one with goals from Pacioretty and Nylander. Anthony Stolarz left the game with some discomfort after the first and did not return, but Joseph Woll came in clutch for the win and Pacioretty added another goal to make this a 3-2 game. When asked after the game about Stolarz's status, Berube simply said he's okay and is likely day-to-day. For more thoughts on this and the recent string of day-to-day injuries, we turn to the expert. Legend says he was once engaged to Dame Judi Dench and that he invented the month of August. All we know is he's our senior analyst, Byron Doyle. I don't get this at all. I thought it was a cookbook. Why does it say hunger on the front? Hey there, folks. Byron Doyle here, bearing the Big Blue House Weekly, and I've been invited in today to air some grievances I've got. And as much as I love the guy, as much as he's close to my heart there, my grievances today are with one Craig Berube. That's right, Chief. I got something to say to you, and, well, it pertains to a little 3-word phrase you've been using a lot lately. Day to day. What does that mean there, Craig? What does the term day to day mean to you? To most of us, that would be, guys dealing with some stuff injury-wise, but we'll see how he goes as the days go by. It's touch and go. He's day-to-day. He's not long-term. He's not short-term. He's just day-to-day. You, Craig, seem to use that term to talk about absolutely everything. I thought of this because of our buddy, Anthony Stolarz, Stoli the goalie. You see, Craig, you said Austin Matthews was day-to-day. You said, yep, the captain, he's feeling some stuff, but he's day-to-day upper body. He took a vacation to Germany for a week and a half. That doesn't sound too day-to-day to me, Craig. You said the same thing about Bobby McMahon, about Matthew Nyes, about Max Domi, and now we're saying it about Anthony Stolarz. Craig, I get that these guys have a right to their medical privacy. I would never deprive them of that. Gotta have that. I get that you don't want to reveal too much about injuries because you don't want to give other teams too much information, too much of an advantage. I get all of that. I've been there, believe me. But it comes a point where we want to know kind of a timeline. When are our guys going to be healthy? When are they going to be back? Fantasy owners, you play in fantasy hockey. If a guy's day-to-day, you can't take him off the roster. You can't injured reserve him. He just got to sit there not playing. These are things that affect us, the little people, Craig. And I know you can't think about that up there in your ivory office down at the Ford Performance Center, but this is just something I want you to consider, Craig. And from David Alter on Twitter, Anthony Stolarz is on injured reserve. Dang it, Craig, this is exactly what I'm talking about. He's injured reserve. He's not day-to-day. That was a little terrifying. Byron, thank you. I think my biggest takeaway from whatever that was is that Byron not only has Twitter on his phone, but understands it well enough to turn on post notifications for David Alter. I'm almost impressed. The Leafs rolled into Detroit on Saturday, and honestly, they shouldn't have even bothered. They let Jeff Petrie score not only his first goal of the season, but also his second. Oh, no, wait a second. They've now given that first goal to Michael Rasmussen. Get dunked on, Jeff. Joseph Woll stood tall, but the team around him just wasn't enough, and neither were the goals from Matthews and Nyes as the Leafs lose this one 4-2. Side note, Matthews blew a skate blade partway through this game, and Jake McCabe dragging him to the bench looks like my boys dragging me home after a night out. The boys were right back at it Sunday afternoon against the Buffalo Sabres. With Stolarz on IR and Woll playing Saturday night, Dennis Hildeby of the Toronto Marlies got the start in the second half of this back-to-back. The Sabres dominated play for the start of the game until Max Domi found the back of the net for his first of the season, although apparently they couldn't quite figure out whose goal it was for a while, as it was corrected twice, initially being Domi's, then Robertson's, then Domi's again finally. The Leafs turned it up in the second, scoring 3 goals in the span of 2 minutes and 31 seconds, with Robertson, Matthews, and Tavares all getting on the board to take the lead heading into the third. Matthews' goal was later given to Tavares due to some manipulations of the amulet. Tavares also potted the empty netter at the end of the third for his 13th career hat trick. The Sabres pulled the goalie again following the Tavares empty netter, and Dennis Hildeby attempted the goalie goal, but the Sabres knocked it down and kept the score 5-3 for a Leafs win. This extends the Sabres' losing streak to 10 games now. And the Amulet Bros, Tavares and Domi, combined in this game for 4 goals and an assist, so maybe there's something to all of this. Looking ahead in the week, the boys take a trip down to Dallas on Wednesday for a date with the Stars. Then we've got yet another back-to-back as we face the Sabres again on Friday, this time in Buffalo, and then it's back home against the New York Islanders on Saturday. We'll have all those games for you next week, plus so much more, but for now, thank you very much for watching, Leafs Nation. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember, go Leafs, go. Yeah. See you next week.